Hello, rock stars, and welcome to In the Pit. I'm your host, Rick, and this week, our guest is none other than Mr. Griffin Tucker. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Rick?
I'm awesome. Still in timeout with COVID, even though I think they said we're allowed to leave now.
Okay.
Dude, I never stopped. I never stayed home. I was still out playing shows and
Yeah.
going out. I had a dozen masks, and I know some people hate the masks. I like my Darth Vader one.
Yeah.
You?
I mean,
mask, no
if you're
mask?
styling, you kind of got to do your thing.
You like the mask, hate the masks, indifferent?
I'm kind of indifferent. I'd rather not, but like if I'm required to wear it, then I kind of just like get in that mask like mindset of just like, okay, just in here to do my thing. I have a mask on. Okay, just get in here, do the thing, get back in the car, and bam, it's off.
What's funny is I kind of like it just because I feel like, like watching the old Lone Ranger movies, like I've got a mask on and I'm going in the store. I don't steal anything. People don't start judging me yet. But I mean, I'm such a little kid that I'm like, oh, I get them. And I've got a bunch of them. And yeah, I hate the fact though that they're so hot. Like,
oh yeah,
that's my only complaint. I think they look cool, but I feel like I'm like, like gasping for air.
People with glasses, every time they breathe, it just fogs up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Can't see. What? What?
Wait, I can't see you now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. This is what you have to look forward to, by the way, one day.
Okay. Yay.
Like Rick, a million years from now.
A million years.
Oh my God. You look like you've been wonderful, dude. And it looks like you stayed really busy. Yes?
Yeah, I've been really busy. For the first 2 months of COVID, I was completely like everything was canceled. But since last May, I've been trying to gig every now and then, like mostly playing outdoor stuff, especially during the start. But now Texas is starting to reopen, and we're starting to get a little looser, and people are starting to come to the front of the stage, and people are allowed to stand up now. So it's a feeling that I've missed for a while. So it's very
Isn't that
nice.
incredible?
Oh my gosh.
They're awkward at first because they're like, am I allowed to go up there? And you're like, for the love of God, please come to the stage. Yeah.
You have to give them the out. Like, please get on your feet and come closer to me and let's have a good time. And we have a good time.
I now have visions of you on your hands and knees with your guitar. Please come to the front of the stage.
I need you.
Oh my God. The next show, if you do that, people are going to be like, we're here, Griffin.
We're here for you.
You've got a great following. You've got your fans are awesome.
Yes, they are. My Griff fans are really, really amazing, and they've been really receptive to my latest 2 singles, Gypsy Woman and Getaway. They've really just been, giving me a lot of love, and I'm so happy because it's my art, and I'm just kind of putting it out there and hoping that someone likes it. But they're just really, really supportive, and I'm really, really thankful for all my Griff fans.
And that's awesome. And again, because you're doing originals, man, and that's so much different than those of us that are doing covers and tributes. I remember, I'm old enough that when I did my original stuff, you gotta first write a good song, but then you gotta sell it to your fan base and get to the point where they're like, play that song. Is that freaking you out when they know the song and you're like,
My first song a while ago, my first song was Girlfriend, and after a while, I started noticing, like, even when I released, like, Believe It, people came to my shows and they were like, can you play Girlfriend? Can you play your first song? It's like my favorite song of yours. And I was like, of course I will. I mean, it's amazing just to know that people are really coming to your shows to hear what you're about instead of the songs that they've heard a million times,
Now, I don't know if you told me this in our conversations. I'm going to ask for those that don't know. Tell me how you got started, because you're a young artist, but you are so accomplished already. You've got a lot going on. How did you dive into this? Like, when was it was like, oh, I'm going to be a guitarist and a drummer, I might add.
I don't think
that got past me.
I started playing drums when I was about 5, and it was very much just like a natural it just clicked with me. I had been listening to music, or like rock music, the Beatles, since I was 3. And so for that 2 years, I was very much just like, I need to play some instruments and I need to create this myself. So I started drums when I was 5, and then I moved to piano when I was 6, took a little bit of lessons, and Then I went to guitar, but my first start when I was playing live was in a Beatles tribute band, and I played drums, and I did like the backing vocals, and because I was 8, I could do all the Paul McCartney stuff that's like way, way up there. But I started with that, and then after that, I toured with Zendaya. Zendaya, she's now famous for being the love interest in the Spider-Man: Homecoming and the Spider-Man franchise. But yeah, she wanted to be a musical artist for a while, and I was like the handyman on in the band. I would be like extra guitar or extra keyboards, or there was like one bass solo I had, like one little bass stool with the actual bassist. So
Nice.
that was pretty like, okay, I'm moving up in the world. I actually got like a solo now. But after that, then I really decided that I wanted to make a name for myself, and that was really when I was 11.
Yep.
And I started, making very poppy songs, like "Girlfriend, Need You Badly," "Gotta Get the Girl," because it fitted my voice at the time.
Yeah.
And so I made those type of songs, and finally, once I got old enough, and I had, played a whole bunch of shows, and my voice started to change, I wanted to actually make the music that I wanted to make, which is rock.
Yeah.
And so I made "Believe It," and of course I've released some singles since then, like "Lead Me," "Heart Full of Love." And of course these newest 2 songs, "Gypsy Woman," "Getaway." It's really just really just passion for the music that's kept me going for all this time.
And as we grow as musicians and you more experience and more influences in life, because we all still go through it, did your focal point in life, where you are and what you want to write about, do you go back and go, oh, that's what I was thinking back then? And it's not really a laugh thing, because that is all part of the growth. I've listened to some of my early stuff too and gone, really? That's where I was? Or are you like, yes, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could go back?
Well, it differs, especially from song to song, because I write the majority of the music in my song, like all the arrangements and stuff, whereas my mom writes most of the lyrics in my songs, and I really love that dynamic that we have together. But when I do go back and listen to my old songs, it's really just the simplicity that really gets to me. Like, at one point, I really thought that like this was the best thing I could create when I was 13 or 14 or even 12. I go back and listen to songs like "Gotta Get the Girl" and "More Than a Friend" and "All Along," and they're just very simple in nature, but they work. And that's really something I've been trying to get back into, because I really just have a tendency now to want to overcomplicate things. I'm starting to listen to more music and get more influences, and there's so many options now that I've heard, and so many things that I could try. And I really just whenever I go back and listen to that stuff, I just think, man, it's so simple, but it works. It makes you move, and it really doesn't need to be anything more than what it is. So it's definitely a mixed bag, but I'm definitely happy with the songs that I've released.
I was gonna say you're liking that progression into the more of the rock.
Yeah, and of course I started off with pop, so it wasn't super like hard hitting electric guitars and big drums like "Believe It" was. But it's still, it's the songs are all right, and they were a starting point. In order for there to be a glow up, you have to start somewhere. So
now, are you going to pull a Dave Grohl and record the entire album yourself, drums, bass, guitar, vocals, like the whole enchilada, and then bring in guys and be like, learn this, I wrote it?
Well, with "Believe It," that's actually what I did. I actually recorded like all the drums, bass, guitar, vocals, all of it myself. And that's what I had to do, and that's what I still have to do. I have to, and of course, the Rock Revolution, I teach them my parts, although sometimes I really don't even need to teach them. They're so freaking talented, they can just be like, yeah, I know. I got your parts.
But isn't that a dream? Like, you're going, I don't have to teach you anything. You wicked respect, because you're like, they listen to it and they go, here. But do you ever just kind of go, wait, you know that one part right there? And,
oh, yes.
And then you're like, wait, they're really good. I need to just be quiet.
Well, at a certain point, I kind of have to let them show a little bit of themselves in my parts. But I also want to teach them the parts that I wrote for the songs, that I really intended for the songs to sound like. But also, these guys have incredible intuition, so I give them a little leeway as far as how they play my parts.
You seem like you'd be a fun boss to work for. I'm just saying, like, I could see your staff meetings being like, guys,
what do you have? I can be really, really fun and really lax, or I can be really, really picky. Like, especially if we're working on like a Beatles cover, I'm the hugest Beatles nerd you will ever meet in your life.
Nice.
And if we're playing, like, at one point we're playing Something by the Beatles, and of course it's got this incredible moving melodic bass line, and Patrick was playing it at the time. Patrick Smith, he was playing it, and there was all these little intricacies that it was missing, and I was like, Patrick, you got to do this little thing in the first verse, but not the second verse, because it's not the same, because it's always moving, and it's all so. I can be really, really picky, or I can be just like really lax, just rock and roll, just do what you want, you know.
But that is it. That is absolutely it. Is because you're a tribute band doing the Beatles stuff. Basically, you're paying tribute, and there were little nuances that that made the song. And I've never sat down and just learned a bunch of Ringo stuff, and yet the simplicity of his playing. Yet he's a wicked talented drummer. Is still, I think, the driving force behind some of the greatest bands out there, because he inspired so many other drummers that did some of the greatest songs. Are simple. They're not. I mean, there are still the Tools out there that are just phenomenal. And I don't mean that like they're tools, but the band Tool.
The band Tool, yes.
I'm going to hear it later for that one. But no, that are wicked talented, but just some of the most simplistic songs out there are the ones that the general public can just relate to. And they just want to shake their butt, you know, and tap their foot and have a good time. You know,
I mean, every time I listen to Come Together, it's got that really just cool, unique drum, you know, groove that just moves around the kit. But once it gets in the verses, it's just floor tom, and that's it. And it makes you move.
It feels
and
good.
That's not, it feels so good, and it's all the song needs. And it's really just where that whole playing for the song, I think, really kind of got popular with the Beatles, because Ringo really just played for the song. And then, of course, someone like John Bonham would play for the song. He would play right along with Jimmy, but he'd play it so perfectly with Jimmy that he would match his kick drum to the Immigrant Song riff, or he'd, change time signatures for "In My Time of Dying," or he'd, do a Wanton Song, or, do all this different stuff. It's really just about making the song as best as it can be.
But it was still playing to the music, which is, I think, dealing with a lot of original artists, sometimes they think they have to mash a bunch of crap in there to be avant-garde and different, and you don't. You just got to play a good groove for folks, and really, a good friend of mine, him, Chi, has reinforced something to me that I've learned over my 30 years of being a drummer, and that is to listen. And a lot of musicians, believe it or not, don't listen to what's going on up there. And I see you smiling. We've all been guilty. I've been guilty of it too. But that's just a phenomenal lesson, is just to listen.
Yeah, it's very important, because I mean, especially when you're starting out, you really have to focus on what you're doing and make sure that like that's the best it can be. But once you get to the point where it's just muscle memory, and you know exactly what you can do and what you're capable of, then you listen to what the other people are doing, and then you feed off of that.
Bingo.
And you build the energy instead of trying to do your own thing.
See, that's a drummer talking. When you say muscle memory, it's like, yeah, we're all muscle memory. Are you kidding?
Yes.
Dude, and I've seen some videos of you playing, and I'm like, I didn't know at first that you started out as a drummer. And then I saw some, I was like, homeboy can throw down. Hold on, wait a second. He's pulling a Dave Grohl here. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I have a bass, and I always dink around on it, but I never took it serious enough, just because I'm a goofball, man. I just like being a drummer.
Yeah. I mean, drums have always just been a blast. And I mean, a while ago, I really Patrick really not persuaded me, but really kind of pushed me to be, to show more of my drumming off, because at that point, like maybe 2 years ago, I was really just doing guitar stuff. I was a Rock Revolution. It was just like my deal. But Patrick was like, you're such a good drummer. You need to start using that and keeping your chops up, and also just kind of giving that to other people.
Yes, sir.
Because at some point you have to realize that the movement is not going to grow if it's just one band. Like if I'm the only person that I'm trying to promote and trying to get out there, then the movement really just isn't going to grow.
No.
So I've been giving my drumming to all these different incredible artists, like my friend Trees Marie, another guy, Paul Escalante, this guy named Rocco, and the Battle of Evermore, which shirt I'm wearing right now.
Nice.
I've just been trying to support all these other people by playing drums for them, and it's really just been an awesome feeling just to get to do that.
Dude, I love it. That is awesome. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Now, with COVID, I gotta ask, putting out your new songs, have you felt any difficulty, or has it been easier as far as getting it out there, marketing, because people are a little more focused and so they're hungry for stuff? Yes, no?
Well, with people like looking at me now, I mean, especially like when I was starting, I was really just like trying to be like, anyone, please listen to this song. I just need you to listen to this song so that the next person can listen to it, you know?
Yeah.
But now that I've got such a wonderful group of people who are with me and following me, it's really just about making what I love now. And I've found people that also love what I love. And so now I can give what they love to them. And whatever I make, they're always just so supportive, and
That's awesome.
I'm really just grateful that it's not quite as difficult as it was before to kind of prove myself, especially being really young. I was just a kid rocker back in the day, but now I'm really kind of getting some, I don't know, some credibility as just an artist now. And I'm really glad that my audience is so supportive, and they're just so receptive to all these songs that I've been giving them.
It sounds cliche, because you got to cut your teeth somewhere, and music business is so cyclical. It's going to go up and down. And the rough moments are what make and harden your steel for when you get to those high moments, and you're going to be fine. I'm so excited to just continue to watch you explode. What I really want to know, and I want to sneak into your closet. Where do you get your wardrobe?
My wardrobe, my mom, my mom actually has like a degree in like fashion and merchandising. It's like, so I'm pretty lucky.
You had a pair of pants on in a video recently that I saw on Facebook, maybe a day or two ago, and I was watching them and I loved them, but they were laced down the side. And I'm like, and I'm studying them, going, I want some of those. And so I asked, do you know Josh from Go Ask Alice the Singer? They're the Alice in Chains tribute.
I don't think.
Okay, he is a seamstress, and I'm like, dude, can you take some of my stretchy pants and like put eyelets in him and lace? He's like, dude, that's easy. I'm like, oh no, I want you to look at the video of Griffin, because I'm like, dude, where does he get those? Those are awesome. But they were flared at the bottom. They were kind of bell bottoms, and I'm punk rock, man. I'm like straight leg all the way. But I loved them. I was like, hell, that kid's got. I want your closet. Like, I just want to sneak in there and look.
Yeah, it's crazy when you look in there.
Do you find yourself wearing stage clothes out in like the real world? You're like, okay, it just becomes just kind of who you are.
I can be pretty boring outside of the stage, just the way I dress. It's just like, man, it's just blue jeans and whatever t-shirt I managed to pick out. It's usually just a band. It can be pretty boring, but once I get on stage, it's like, okay, what's the craziest thing I can get?
Yeah, you know what? I know you guys, some of y'all are going to be like, really, Rick? I'm like a little kid. I'm like, oh, it's like Halloween. It's dress up. What do I want to wear? You're laughing, but I mean, we're going to get up there and play anyhow. It's like, what kind of rock star outfit can I put together to get on stage?
Fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love shopping for stuff. And of course, I'm like, I'm punk rock. So I'm like, how many different punk belts do I have that I can wear? And
yeah.
Oh my Lord. Now, I mention of it that I don't know if it was before we started, or you guys can correct me later, about I met you at Drumathon, and and I don't know, was Miss Cleo, who we all love, and who's now, I think she's in Nashville or LA. Was she sitting in with y'all? Was she part of the band? Were you guys backing her? How was that? Because you guys were phenomenal. That's when I was like, holy cow, I like this guy.
She was sitting in with the band. That was actually just after Left Past Blue had parted ways, and she really just wanted. I played with them at their last show playing drums, and she really just wanted just somewhere just so she could play, so she could sing and just kind of do her thing while she was like in that transition period of trying to figure out what she wanted to do. And it was really just fun just to get to have her for a couple of shows. We only did like 2 shows with her, but it was really fun just to kind of do some different stuff. Like we did Heartbreaker by oh my gosh, Pat Benatar. We did Heartbreaker by Pat Benatar. We did like Barracuda by Heart. We did some really cool stuff that wouldn't have been able to do otherwise, and it was really
It
cool
was
just to
fun.
try that out.
Now, do you still keep up with all the folks over at Drumathon?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I do try to.
Good. And I try to, I'm involved somewhat, but I don't know everybody, like all the contact. I will tell you this year, I think it's going to be back live. I hope, I know your schedule is going to be crazy. I hope you get to come out and hang out for a little while, because
That would be awesome.
I just want to see you get on stage again and maybe drum battle one of them. Just saying.
No, I would love to. I know for this past Drumathon, we all had to do it like at home, and
yeah.
I was very fortunate that April invited me to do the national anthem, which was
awesome.
really fun. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to come back out and do some Drumathon and do some drumming for y'all.
All I'm gonna say is, if you do make it out there, and I know how busy your schedule is, don't be surprised if I'm like, I'll pay to see Griffin get up there and play and put you on the spot. And yes, there's a couple, we're very blessed that we get to become friends with some of these folks, the celebrities.
Absolutely.
And there's a couple, it's like, again, there's a couple of them, I can't say coming back or not coming back, that I will, again, probably jump up there and jam out with, because it's a drum thing, man. It's goofy.
Yeah.
I got to play with, my first year, I played with Sandy Gennaro, who was, Monkeys, Cyndi Lauper. And there was a brief, yeah. And of course, at the time I was in Sedated, this Ramones tribute. And it was weird getting up there and just rocking faster beats with this guy. And afterwards I was like, oh my Lord. Like, did I really just try to make him do punk rock?
I just did that.
It was, that was a blast.
Oh my gosh.
Now, with everything that you have going on, I know that you're fortunate to get to travel a fair bit. Have you been out on the East West Coast much?
No, I haven't really been on the coast much, but I actually did just get to go visit this place called Hochatown. It's in Oklahoma, and I actually got to go play with my Zeppelin tribute for one last time, and it was really cool just to go up there. It's like this place you drive like for in the middle of nowhere for so long, but you get to this little town. It's called Hochatown. It's really just fun to get to go up there, but I haven't really been up on the coast much recently.
Okay, nice. So basically, you're ready for this to, like, this year, this summer, hopefully get out of town and go mingle with the world.
I'd love to. I mean, I love just playing out here, but I mean, just playing out anywhere I can, here in the country, outside the country. I mean, and it's just the dream, just to go anywhere and share what I've been given, just to do that.
Now, you graduated last year, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I have to ask, for an old guy, I don't remember my first summer after high school. I don't remember it. I'm sorry. I killed those brain cells. And I went out and had a blast. Have you just kept that busy that it's been kind of a blur?
I mean, yes. It's really just been because all this stuff hit like right after my last spring break.
Okay.
It was March, and it was pretty much just like,
yeah.
I didn't go to school for my whole last quarter of senior year, and it was really sad. But I did get to graduate at Dr. Pepper Ballpark, which is I think the Rangers Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. Not much of a sports guy, but
I'm not
I did
either.
get to graduate there, and that was really cool. But ever since then, I mean, I've always been busy. Even before I graduated, I've been busy just trying to maintain a good music and school balance.
Yeah.
And now, since school is kind of just like it's done now, I've just tried to do so much more music now that I'm out of school. And I've really just tried to do as much as I can, like even like playing more acoustic shows, joining more bands, and just playing as much as I can, doing more studio work, and just trying to do as much as I can.
That's awesome. So basically, it is finally, you're living the dream that everyone talks about. Like, I'm a full-time musician.
Yeah. No, seriously, that's the dream.
I
I mean, I have a lot of friends who really just they want to be able to do the full-time thing, and it's very hard because I started playing music and I started putting myself out there when I was 8. So I've had 11 years to kind of build a name and kind of build a reputation around my area, just so I can kind of sustain myself and always have somewhere to go play. And a lot of my friends, they do have to work jobs, but they're really just so talented, and they deserve to be full-time musicians.
But it also takes a commitment and a leap of faith, because it is scary going, I'm going to do this full time, and dive out there. Again, kudos, dude. You're doing it now. Do it.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, throughout your career, if there's a little old me, if there's anything I can ever do, please reach out, call me. You know, I'll gladly help promote you. If you need a drum tech, just say,
yes.
I know.
No, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Oh, dude, I would love to, especially as things progress. If you come back to town, you're like, hey, I would be tickled to have you on the show. We could do video. We could do in person. I would love to, because I know you have a lot going on, and I'm definitely I'm pulling for you. I want to see you go like all the way. You know, and if you do, great. If you don't, at least you could say, you know what, I gave it a shot.
Yes.
No regrets at all. So
absolutely.
If you ever do the Beatles thing again, I don't know if you're still dabbling at all, but if you do the Beatles thing, you got to let me know, man. I'll come out for a night just to see you rock out some Beatles on the drums.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm always trying to play Beatles wherever I can, even with any band. Like, I was actually in this band called Supernova Remnant, and we were just like, it's just super like, it's a Christian band, but it's super just like almost metal band. Yes. And even when we got in there, Robbie, the lead singer, was like, do you know the beats of Tomorrow Never Knows? And I'm like, yes.
Robbie's
and I just started playing it on drums, and I was just like, man, it's just good music, and I just play it whenever I can.
I missed that. I didn't realize that you had played with Robbie. I didn't realize you were in Supernova.
Yeah, we played one show out at the Oasis in Midlothian, and we played out there. But it's really just been kind of, especially like with all the stuff that just hit. I joined right in the middle of all, like right in the start of all this pandemic stuff. Yeah. So it was very slow. Yeah. Just getting started back up. And Robbie usually is used to playing in these big venues that are like, you know, like Trees and the Bomb Factory and Canton Hall, but all of them were closed when all this stuff hit. So we really had to wait a while before we could gig. But I was fortunate enough to go cut some stuff with him in the studio. Nice. So that should be coming out pretty soon, and that was really fun, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I'll be looking for that. In fact, I got to reach out to Robbie and say, hey, come on the show. Yeah, I like him. It's funny every time I haven't been in Guitar Center forever, but you know, he would always be up there tuning somebody's guitar. He was always just so nice. Always stopped to say, you know, chat with me for a few. I like Robbie. So I'm glad you got to do that. That's awesome. That is awesome. Anything else big coming up that you want to talk about? Or are you're like, dude, I am mom, family, everybody's good?
Everybody's good in the family. As far as, you know, doing, you know, music stuff, it's not quite as concrete as it was like right before Getaway was released. It was always just like, okay, Gypsy Woman's coming out and Getaway's coming out, and those are the big singles, and I'm so ready for these to be out. I'm so ready for everyone to, you know, just be able to listen to them. But right now, it's all very just flexible right now. I mean, the Rock Revolution is always writing. We're trying to get in the studio and record. An album is the eventual goal. I'm not sure when it would be coming out, but we've been playing a lot of very new songs, unreleased songs at our shows. Nice. Just trying to really work them out and make them the best that they can be before we really put them down on a recording. So we're really just, you know, basically doing what we've been doing, you know, up to now, just at a bigger degree, just because we've just been trying to get our dynamic down, especially with this lineup being really new, and we're really just trying to, you know, be the best that we can be.
I will tell you the same thing I told Norman at Strangers Angels or the guys in Blackout, you know, and I do love original bands. And I'm going to tell you, thank you for being one of the originals that actually came on the show, because I've had a lot of tributes, a lot of cover bands, but originals are always reluctant. And you know how hard it is to promote your music. So when an original artist comes on, I'm always like, thank you so much. Would you come back and do this again?
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
My doors will be open. If I can ever, when you're in town, you're coming through town as things grow for you, if we can help promote locally, or you just want to promote, hey, we got a new project, we got a new song, whatever it is, please reach out. I would love to have you on, and maybe not even do a video, but like, let's get together and sit on a couple stools in an actual like live setting.
Absolutely. I mean, you're just so fun. I mean, doing these interviews with you, or you're just fun to talk to. So even for just getting to talk to you, I would love to come back.
I will tell you, and I tell everybody, I'm a musician too, though. So I'm not just a guy who's a music fan, which I am a music fan, but I am a musician too. So I know what it's like because I'm out there. Even though we're recording this, guys, we will have already recorded this. If you didn't know the magic of Hollywood, yeah, this isn't really live. Sorry.
What?
Yeah. I actually, tonight after I've got a few interviews. I actually have a gig tonight. So all
Ooh.
this, I still got old drummer boy's got to still go earn his keep. So again, being an entertainer, I do believe in live local music, be it originals, covers, tributes. I'm always like, please let me help promote. So please, my door will always be open to you. Hit
Absolutely.
me up. And maybe someday I can talk you into let me come to a show and announce you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. You're like, please, Rick, we're putting you, do not let him enter the club. Oh, my Lord. Thank you, Griffin, for coming on and being my guest, man. Really,
Absolutely.
I am so excited for you.
Me.
You will always be welcome here. I will bug you in the future, and hopefully I would love to catch once you get out of town, I'd love to come somewhere else and catch you out on the road somewhere just to see you rock a different crowd other than the hometown. That's always a blast. So thank you again for being my guest. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Rick.
You are always welcome. And thank you all for tuning in again. Yes, I got the call. Now your therapists are sending me like voice messages. I can ignore those too. Just saying, if you still got to see a therapist, I'm doing my job well. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the show, you can definitely catch us on Facebook. If you would, please go like us and ask your friends to like us. If you're in a local band, please post your stuff there. We're all about helping promote. If you're a fan, love for you to find some new artists that maybe you just didn't know about. Get off your backside, go out, support live local music. I don't care what town you're in. For those of you that are watching us from Europe, from South America, from Australia, New Zealand, or over the US, go check out your local venues. Yes, here in Dallas, Texas, we are rocking it. But I know some of you that are all over the place, you haven't quite opened up. When they do, go see some live local music. You've got musicians that are wicked talented that are starving to entertain you. So get out there, go check them out. Let us know. We'd love to hear about it. You can catch us. We're on iHeart Radio. We're on Spotify. We have an Instagram and Twitter account, which I'm really bad about posting stuff to. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. And we also have a Roku channel and an Amazon Fire channel. So you should be able to find us even when you're on the road traveling. It's all goodness. Please, everyone, stay safe. Griffin, you and the family stay safe, and I look forward to seeing more from you in the near future.
Yeah, rock on.
Everyone, I'm Rick. This has been Griffin. You're watching In the Pit, and we will see you somewhere in the pit.